want to hear your thoughts on this first match of the day, Rebellion versus Sentinels.
Well, this is we used the word zesty yesterday, and then people were wondering, what is that? What's zesty? This is zesty right here. RyaNoob versus Sparty, the rivalry brewing for years and years and years. Does it come to a boiling point here today in this series with so much on the line, Magic? You have to think it will.
I sure hope so. I mean, you're even looking at the seeding number 7, number 9. It definitely is stacking up to be a series that goes the distance.
And Sentinels here, important to note, on that periphery here at the 9th seed, that will likely not give them the points needed to fill in that 7th, 8th spot for the NA team. So if you're Sentinels here, Rebellion, because of that 7th seed, they could still finish here at top 8 or so and have a chance at making that pool play spot. But Sentinels, no, they do not have that luxury. They have got to win this series here, or their hopes for pool plays at Charlotte, unbelievably so, are over.
Well, we talked about this yesterday, Mikowski, and I want to bring it back into today. We are down to just those 12 teams, 4 in the winner's bracket, and then the 8 that we're kind of focusing on right now here in the lower bracket. It's do or die for these teams, and very likely to determine those pool play spots from this very round. Now, Sentinels, they're coming off of that Space Station Gaming Snowdown in 6th place. You know, if they match that placement here today, that's enough for the pool play spots. But on the other side, Rebellion placed 11th there. So they need to climb over this obstacle that the Sentinels are placing in their way. They need to outperform their expected placement in order to lock down one of those so valuable, so desired pool play spots.
And since that SSG showdown, these two teams sort of going in opposite directions. Sentinels slipping a little bit, Rebellion continuing to find their form. And it makes sense when you've got a young gun like Karmea. He's been continuing to build that prowess, build that mental game up. We know he's got the accuracy. We know he's got the movement tech, one of the most consistent movement tech, slide tech, G-slide players in the league. Expect to see Karmea flying around the map here, causing all sorts of trouble for Sentinels. But Sentinels, luckily, doesn't find much trouble here on King of the Hill. They were 3-1 yesterday. Their only loss to TSS, another one of those fringe 7-8 teams. So it's all about to break. It's all about to give. On the flip side, though, Rebellion 3-0 in King of the Hill. Most hills they've given up in any of those matches was just one Magic. My goodness. Something's got to give. 3-1 for Sentinels. Rebellion 3-0. One of these teams here has to take a loss eventually.
And since we're starting on Stronghold Streets, I need to tie it into where we saw Sentinels just yesterday. Stronghold Streets, they ended up losing to TSS on this very map in mode, but it was 246 to 250. At the beginning stages of the game, we saw LethuL absolutely locking down B, but was the out-rotation and the team pressure repeated from TSS that was able to break down those defenses. KingNick also had a great spurt of kills in the middle, maybe third quarter of that game, but all in all, they fell just short. And I know that that game is living in their memory, maybe a little bit of regret, but a chance of redemption. Watch out for LethuL. If he can lock down B like he did yesterday, he could lead this Sentinels roster to the success that they're looking for.
And you talked about the rotations on Strongholds, equally as important here on King of the Hill, especially a map like Streets, which, God, you take one route one way or the other, and you're 10 meters away from that rotation. Very small, constricted, tight map here as we have the start of today's tournament, and we're hopping on board with Mental.
Not hopping on board just with Mental, but with the rocket launcher holding Mental. I think that elevates even this dangerous player a couple more levels. He's gonna round around to the back of B. This zone still hasn't been completely captured, but there it is. LethuL, not wanting to give up that Bravo side, ends up as a trade.
Karmea and those perfect shots lead to a perfect start here for Rebellion. Gonna need to start ticking B down, though, unbelievably, despite numbers. Advantage for Rebellion. It's Sentinels taking that neutral B position, but just like that, C flipping in the form of Rebellion. They start the scoring here.
Those first points on the board, exactly what Rebellion is looking for to set this game off in their favor. They keep on ticking forward. Sentinels, maybe that priority on B is starting to make them pay because it's the only zone they have, and even that, Rayne is trying to steal from their grasp. Do we see a potential triple cap if they get the reset on A? Rebellion are going to start flying up this scoreboard.
Huge opening break win for Rebellion, and they've carried it all the way, Magic, to that first 30-second threshold. Great start for them, looking to maintain more of the same with that Sentinel being Mental with no shields. Is able to take down one, but does not take down KingNick. Can Karmea clean it up? Yes, but he gets cleaned up as well. It's an absolute brawl here. 1v1 RyaNoob versus his foe, Sparty here. All players now spawning up. The cavalry is arriving for both teams here. Which support group is going to be stronger? Sentinels, the first to go down. 2 now going down for Sentinels. Rebellion looking really strong here. A rolling 60 and numbers in the feed.
It all starts with that opening pick when both teams collide on B. Often the fight is going to go to the team that gets the first takedown, and that was all Rebellion carrying over with that momentum. Back on board with Mental. Red gun in hand, wins out the 1v1, but he's dropped right after. Kills are trading, but you look at the scoreboard. Green means go because Sentinels go 4 down.
Wow, 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 wow. And the question being asked now, when is the bleeding going to stop? Are we about to see triple digits? A 100-0 start here for Rebellion, but potentially on the line. Pool play on the line as well. Sentinel's going to have to figure it out quickly here. But one of the benefits they have here is on strongholds. We've seen plenty of 100-plus comebacks, plenty of back against the wall on the brink comebacks. Does Sentinels have an answer here?
Oh, I don't know. Rayne has a double kill with that Sentinel beam. I'm sorry, the red gun, actually, not the Sentinel beam. We'll see that later. But the red gun, the stalker rifle in the hands of Rayne, proving so dangerous, and Mental time and time again. Finding the pick that he wants, ducking back to cover, regenning the shield, and now challenging again. Finds Kuhlect's back, and Mental seems to be full speed ahead. 8-3 on this game. Add a Bulldog on top of that pacing. They need to find an answer for Mental. He is leading the charge.
Mental, the anchor at A, and what a strong anchor at that as he goes down ultimately. Rayne now with the potential to pick up the remains of that shotgun. 7 shots left in that. Saw no more in that red rifle here, so an opportunity here with that stronghold at C for Sentinels to pick up this fresh red rifle and potentially spur a comeback. Magic, they're gonna have to start taking advantage of some of this sandbox if they're gonna come back here against Rebellion. As another 3 go down for Sentinels, Rebellion is looking strong.
Oh no, we did see 9 points from Sentinels matching their seeding number, but is that all that we're gonna see across the board? It's starting to look a little painful. It is still that strongholds mode, has the most opportunity for that comeback potential. It's not like we're looking at a 40-0, 40-5 Slayer game, but Spartan, this might be the break. Takes down 1, takes down 2, 1 more rocket left to use, but there's 2 players from Rebellion behind him at Cafe side. I like this decision to double back. You want to get the full use out of these weapons. You need to get the full use out of them. In order to do that, Sparty has to stay alive.
Karmea going down a little late there to that rocket from Sparty. Provides an opportunity here to stagger a little bit if you're Sentinels, as that team wipe has earned themselves some points now. 30 and rolling, but they're going to need a lot more. And I love this killing spree here from Sparty. You can feel the sense of urgency. The emphasis on starting off this tournament today on a good start is a top priority here for Sparty. Really willing his team here to try to come back.
Hide your killing sprees because if Mikowski shouts it out, you're gonna find 3 grenades to take you down. Great play there from Spartan to finally get a chunk of time across the board for Sentinels, hoping that it's not too little too late. And here comes Kuhlect, that up and coming young gun, that Slayer that so far in this game has underperformed. Kuhlect, we know what you can bring, and the Sentinels need it right here, right now.
Yeah, Kuhlect, just like Sparty, a player that Sentinels really needs to play at the very least up to par. A little below that here in game 1, but for Kuhlect, I think it's just a warm-up for him. We've seen what he's capable of, so I'm expecting this one to not be par for the course, but if it is, Sentinels have a very uphill task ahead as they do so in this very game. Rebellion right up on the edge of that 200, but just like that, Sentinels regains control of B and C here. They really need to get into that 100 threshold. They need to really get 100 points on the board to feel like they're back in it. And I gotta believe, Magic, they cannot give up another one of these strongholds here to Rebellion. They need to reach 40 uncontested here if they want to have a chance.
Keep an eye on the scoreboard to see if they can break that 100-point mark. KingNick has the rocket, but the grenades stop him short. That rocket is sitting on the ground. Rayne wants to claim it. The double kill, potential for a triple, but Kuhlect gets away with his life. I think there's still a rocket on the ground there in the front of C, but it's no time to stop stop and scoop it up. Kuhlect is gonna thrust her back into the action. He has the Bulldog, he has the Rockets. He might have the keys to this comeback.
Kuhlect not putting up the stats we expect, but making the plays we expect there, as he was the last member alive for Sentinels, the last hope for a potential comeback, and his survivability here and the grabbing of the Rockets and shotgun to match has Sentinels here mounting a bit of a comeback.
Kuhlect only 7 rounds in that Bulldog. Is it enough to hold down a defense at B? He doesn't overextend. He waits patiently, and it looks like RyaNoob is going to be the one to be dealt out the death. Still not crossing that 100-point mark on the scoreboard are the Sentinels. Rebellion sweeping back through. Kuhlect goes down. Bulldog switches hands. It's a hot potato back and forth between both of these teams. And that grenade, oh, so deadly. The timing of this, just as Sentinels break that 100-point mark, Rebellion are getting the slays that they need.
Rayne, also the former teammate of Sparty and KingNick. 2 duos now on these 2 different teams, Rebellion and Sentinels, as Rayne tries to do his best to make sure his team maintains control of B, but no, as he goes down, surely B will as well as it gets reset. Sentinels continues the scoring magic, and don't look now, but they're looking like they're primed for a comeback.
Oh, that reset on B is so critical for the Sentinels. They have clawed their way back into this game. Karmea rotating around behind, but look at Rebellion. I see 3 players nearly in a straight line. It's Mental leading the charge with the Rockets back in hand. Rockets so far proving much more valuable than I think we saw at all yesterday. Mental using them perfectly, leading the way for kills. 17 on the board. We have 3 Rebellion players here, and Sentinels are doing everything to try to stop this zone. B might just be where the game is decided.
4 down for Rebellion. Sentinels spurring the comeback here on the back and leadership of Sparty. Now hopping on board here with KingNick, all spawning. It looks like Cafe for Rebellion. Which way do they decide to rotate? Towards C or back towards PD? It's going to be a split. 2 on each side. Rebellion hedging their bets here. But one of these is going to have to come through. Is a really convincing opening game here for Rebellion. Is looking like the momentum is all on Sentinel's side now. Mental going down. LethuL goes down as well. A 3v3 even in the kill feed. Now numbers advantage here for Rebellion, but it doesn't stick for long. Karmea goes down. KingNick still staying alive here on this side of the alley. And if he can sneak in here and potentially take out RyaNoob, it could force the scoring back on Sentinel's side. But no, a huge capture, a huge win there for Rebellion.
Sentinels crossed that 200-point mark, seeming impossible in the early stages of this game, but they lost B in the process. Rebellion just 20-odd seconds away from taking this game. All 4 players unified on that push to B. And now Rayne winning a pivotal kill, but B is flipped over. Sentinels are scoring again.
Rayne, again, the last player alive, winning that huge pib on KingNick. And look at this. Because of it, now has an opportunity to push in to C, regain control of that for his team. But no, he goes down. KingNick flanking up the stairs. And potentially it's Sentinels instead magic, looking for the triple cap as 3 go down for Rebellion. Sentinels, are they going to do it?
This game was blown wide open, and right now we are looking at a tie with points for Sentinels. This might just be the ultimate comeback of all comebacks. Rayne trying to stay alive, but it's for naught. He is also eliminated, and now the panic sets in. Rebellion only have 2 seconds, 3 seconds to get on a zone. They're on B, they're on C, but Spartan shuts that down, resets the zone. That's gonna be the win. That's gonna be the epic comeback from the Sentinels.
And I can feel it in the distance. Sparty just stood up, ripped his earbuds off, and just started screaming. All of the energy, all the momentum now on the side of Sentinels. And Magic, I consider that to be especially important when Sentinels is a team we ask a lot as a community. Are they checked? Would have been absolutely checked after that game 1 loss to Rebellion, but instead they come back down by 150 at one point, ultimately earning that edge 250-230 victory. And now it's Rebellion who are left to scramble and head back to the lockers and try to come up with a game plan to figure this Sentinels roster out.
I cannot even tell you how much adrenaline that first game of the day.
Wow.
I feel fueled. I feel amped up. And you know what? I tell you what. Hey, this is day 4 of Fort Mikowski, so I don't have to save my voice for tomorrow anymore. It's time to get hype, and Sentinels on this incredible comeback, even at this stage of the game. Look at the score. There's the 150-point spread, 163-9. And I want to see, where does this scoring actually stop? Because it might have even been 160.
Well, where it started for Sentinels was right there on the backs of Sparty's killing spree. We talked about it, just feeling the energy, momentum. There's something in the air that seemed to have shifted there. Despite the massive lead for Rebellion, you could feel like Sentinels was gonna mount a comeback. And what a huge win for them in game 1, Magic, because they're now staring at a very likely 2-0 lead here in this pivotal series. Sentinels 5-0 yesterday in Slayers. Rebellion a little shaky, 2-2. Something's got to give here. Does Sentinels continue that domination from yesterday, or does Rebellion come up with an answer?
Sentinels might have just been taking notes when they were on Stronghold Streets versus TSS. They came just short, 246 to 250, but this time the comeback is on their side. This moment from Spartan, flanking through Commando, gets the back of RyaNoob, and I have to think there might have been a little extra oomph in that melee.
Oh, absolutely. Sparty truly willing it there, because it wasn't even so much that his stats were out of control or he was just putting up insane damage that Rebellion couldn't hide from. It was really more than anything those timely plays, those double kills when rockets are up, the double when the shotgun is just spawned on the rack. We saw all of that for Sparty, and as a result, Sentinels able to come back here in game 1 as we prepare for a Slayer where usually the underdog is more, has the best chance to win that match, but here it's so evenly matched. I don't know who is the underdog. You'd probably say it's Rebellion, but Magic, they have the higher seeds, so hard to really make do with what we got here and where this series is heading.
Yeah, I think it comes off of, the Spartan Snowdown, and then we had the Open over the weekend, and what you had mentioned, Mikowski, in the pregame was how kind of one team had climbed up, and that was being Rebellion, Sentinels kind of underperforming, being dropped back down, and that just leads us to where we are right now with feeling like these rosters really are neck and neck. I mean, coming back from being 160 plus points down in game 1, that's some tenacity on the side of Sentinels. We know this roster is fiery, is loud, but they need to play like it too. And that's also a team that is either very, very hot or very, very cold. You have to think that game 1 gave them that boost to their morale that could fuel them for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and in moments like that where the regain, you have to pull it from so deep, it really comes down to experience. And you look at the Sentinels composition of roster, they have more experience. They've got that young gun, Kuhlect, Rebellion with a young gun of their own with Karmea. But it's mental, coming over from Gears of War, sort of learning the processes, the timing, the flow, the rhythm, the feel of Halo. So the edge and experience, you've got to give it, especially with one of the top 5 Halo players of all time, LethuL, on that squad to Sentinels. Do they take the 2-0 lead here? We said yesterday, undefeated on Slayers. Does the streak continue here?
Well, I have to give credit to Kuhlect. Halfway through that game, Kuhlect was really struggling to put Slays up on the board, but he cranked it up in the second half of the match. Ends up as a 13-19, still just barely negative. Add on 9 assists on top of that, but a definite turning point that directly impacted the score of the game. We talked about Spartan's killing spree, so well timed, but if we're gonna call out Kuhlect for not performing, we also need to recognize where he showed up.
Opening break here to the victor goes that camo top mid. As for now, it's a battle ensuing down bottom mid. KingNick taking the better of mental there. Slight numbers advantage here for Sentinels, but no, Rebellion ties it back up at 2. This one's back and forth. Now a narrow edge for Rebellion, but Magic, where's the camo?
It looks like LethuL just scooped it up, surprisingly, because Sentinels were down in numbers. Somehow LethuL snuck through. That camo was burned, and now Karmea, heat wave in hand. There's 3 Sentinels targets in front of him, and Karmea might double back and say, that's a little more than I want to take on.
Look at that. Karmea last year throws himself into that base, takes on all 3. The young gun instead. After some learnings and VOD sessions with RyaNoob, pulls back.
Wow.
And look at the butterfly effect. Karmea maintaining his life, getting a couple sprees to boot. And now it's 3 down for Sentinels. Times 3, 9-2 in the scoreboard. Rebellion are up big.
The respawn there at Refrigerator, and Mental is so ready. The information he is giving to his team right now can make the move with Rebellion. They can form their strategy. Mental does have to double back after taking the grenade damage, but still Sentinels, all 4 trapped back at Refrigerator. Rebellion slowly inching their way forward. Mental does some opening damage with the use of the commando, but the team fire from Sentinels. There's a player right behind RyaNoob. He went right past him, has to double back in order to get that kill. And even off of this difficult respawn, Sentinels are leading the way on slays.
Wow, great answer back there from Sentinels. 3 players stuck in one of the most unfortunate spawns in Halo Infinite. Instead, took advantage of their numbers. Didn't have the advantage with the spawn, but had the advantage with numbers there. I believe there was 2 on the side of Rebellion, 3 in the back there on the fridge side for Sentinels as they find the answer and bring this one back to within 3.
Look at this. Now it's Rebellion who are being spawn trapped in the back of base. Karmea wins out that battle, but he is at 1 HP in a dream. 2 players from Rebellion rotating over the fridge, looking for leftovers from yesterday. And it's Kuhlect though. Heatwave plus camo. That Heatwave is now out of ammunition. But Kuhlect being so careful. Have they snipped him out? Rayne gets a whiff of him. He's going to be taken down. And are you looking at the score? Rebellion right back to within 3. Spartan goes in for the melee, gets the cleanup. Sentinels are right in this. It's a 1-point game.
Back and forth action here as RyaNoob's going to have to watch his back. Sparty ultimately getting that kill with the commando, but the pressure was on. Continuation of it here. Sentinels look to push up, but we're gonna have to see that bait and switch. LethuL gonna let Sparty take some of that attention and damage as he looks to now rotate and wrap around. A pinch is on. KingNick has the pinch. He has the kill. LethuL though going down to Mental. That's a big play there. Good defense there from Mental, but he's not gonna stay alive for long. KingNick takes him down, and Sentinels is still staring at that 1 kill deficit.
1 kill deficit. They'll take over a 7 kill deficit every day of the week that ends in Y, Mikowski, because they are showing that comeback, but much earlier in the game than what we saw from game number 1. Of course, you want to start out strong, but I tell you what, if you have the strong mid-late game, you can still come out with this win. So even though Rebellion barely in the lead on this game, Sentinels have been the ones recently outslain.
Yeah, and you take more of that mental win too when you start off really poorly and then come back and just do it time after time after time. You really start to cause more and more frustrations in the headsets for Rebellion, but just like that, a 3-kill advantage now for them. They're starting to find the same form we saw here at the start, but just like that, it's another melee fest. Only 3 players alive in the lobby now, and what a time for that to occur as RyaNoob looks to sneak away here with that camo.
We're just shy of that halfway point mark, and RyaNoob with the camo might be the player that hit the 25 slays. A little bit of that grenade damage connects. It's going to give KingNick information that the camo player is here, and now the team fire from Sentinels. Camo absolutely obliterated. RyaNoob can do nothing with it.
Sentinels playing great defense, and great defense on that camo. We've seen a few grabs for Rebellion, but really nobody able to make any use. LethuL sneaking away with that first camo. He went down, burnt it immediately. Seeing more of the same for those camos. As we approach the 30s, you have to imagine that the camo is going to play into the separation of these 2 teams, as neither one has really figured out an answer magic. We're back, deadlock, 26-25 now.
Halfway point of the game, and only a 1-point difference between the 2 teams. Rebellion staying in the fight. They might have given up that 7-point lead, but they are clinging now to a 2-point lead. Mental knows that Kuhlect is at the back of Dynamos, waiting for him to peek, but that grenade is going to force him out of his cozy little corner. He's going to find a new angle to take this fight. Both teams with a brief slowdown from what has been a very fast-paced Slayer thus far.
And it's a countering L-shaped formation for both of these 2 teams on opposite sides of the map. Which team, though, will ultimately take the L here, as neither has shown they want to let this one go. 27-25. RyaNoob now making the move with that damage, but he gets some shots in the back. That's going to scurry, or excuse me, I should say pause the push here. Ooh, he's got a waiting Sparty with that heat wave on the other side, but the shots from the backside are maintaining their RyaNoob, never able to really call out or spot that player, maybe from top mid or so, shooting him in the back. And it's the collective team wipe here for Sentinels, which has them again tied. Despite the wipes here, despite the numbers advantage, there seems to be no separation between these two teams.
Every time one team gets a burst of kills, the other one answers right back, but Camo is up for grabs. The team that wins this round of slays might even count for a little extra. RyaNoob cannot compete with LethuL and the Commando. That weapon has not been nerfed yet. It's still so strong, especially in the experienced controller of LethuL. Watch out for that Commando, still a full clip. Add to that couple of thrusters, couple of dynamo grenades. LethuL could be in deadly force. Spartan now trapping 3 players at the back of Rebellion. Mental kind of gives the slip there on the far side, and there goes LethuL. His dynamo's not doing enough to sizzle the enemy team.
Sentinels with their first 4-kill lead of the game, looking to match that 6-kill lead start for Rebellion, but instead it's Rebellion with an answer. But just like that, Sentinels answering back, finding that 4-kill lead once again. Magic, we always talk about this, possessions, team wipes. 1 separating these two teams. Such an important 5th kill here, because that makes it now a 2-possession game, a 2-team wipe game. As you're gonna have to find your cycle, you're gonna have to find your form. Sparty doing just that, but he's the last player alive. Mental finds the triple kill bottom mid, and Rebellion with a chance off that highlight play from Mental.
Mental single-handedly is keeping his team within arm's reach of flipping this game back over. Off of that triple kill, they're only down by 4. 1 team wipe will tie up the game. Mental has shots down onto Kuhlect. Teammate fills in. They're focusing on this team fire. But here comes Sentinels. They're very grouped up. The team fire's been working for them thus far. Mental with the first break. Can he make it 2? He's taken down. 3 go down for Rebellion.
This one's looking more and more likely like a Sentinels win here, extending that 5-0 streak in this tournament to potentially 6. And for Sentinels, dominating the Slayers might be a key to their success. We talked about Kuhlect, the slaying prowess, not necessarily popping off here in this game, but instead it's Spartan McFly not only leading the team in passion, but in slays here, as he's got his team primed for a 2-0 lead on Rebellion.
This game continues to be scrappy, which Sentinels are happy to play at that frenetic pace. They're holding on to the lead, maybe even extending it for a brief moment. They're at 5 and only 5 away from making this a 2-0 series. Kuhlect has the heat wave in hand, on the prowl, on the hunt, but RyaNoob is the first one. That breaking kill, Rebellion need to capitalize on.
RyaNoob looking to find the comeback. Spots the back of KingNick, but he turns on his opponents. Another triple kill here for Sentinels, as it's been really all Sentinels despite the opening break for Rebellion. 49-43, just 1 kill left. Rebellion trying to make it interesting, but no, Sentinels will ultimately take game 2 and are now on the brink of securing this series. And Magic, let's talk about the dynamic here. Where this series could go, what direction this could lead here for both of these two teams. Rebellion with a 7th-8th finish in that open qualifier. They can afford to potentially get top 12 and still qualify, but you don't want to leave it up to chance. Sentinels, though, placing top 12 in that open qualifier. They absolutely cannot afford to get top 12 again, which is what it would be if they lost right here. So Sentinels not securing their spot in pool with the win here, but keeping themselves alive. And on the flip side, Rebellion, you're going to need a lot of help from other organizations, and you never want to leave it up to others when you have the opportunity on the sticks. RyaNoob, Karmea, Rayne, Mental still on the stick, still playing here in this series, but it could end in a pivotal game 3. Rebellion needing a reverse sweep to keep their pool play hopes in their hands.
Set it up so well there, Mikowski. Sentinels coming out, not placing where they hoped during the open, might lead to what we're seeing here today. It's not desperation per se, it's a little bit more urgency, a little bit more intensity, as shown from game 1 with that 160-point stronghold comeback. And then even game 2, opening stages were all Rebellion, but somehow mid and late game, Sentinels have been stepping up. What that tells me for Rebellion is an opening break isn't enough. You need to carry through that level of control throughout. And for Sentinels, full credit to the restraint for them to be able to regroup, reevaluate, and make those crucial mid-game adjustments. hoping that they don't have to do more of the same here today. RyaNoob tossing out the grenades. The BR is gonna find its mark. Camo has been snatched up, but it's the oddball that everybody's focus of attention is on.
Hard to imagine that either of these two teams and either of these 8 players may not wind up in pool play at Charlotte. Unbelievable, especially when you consider LethuL, one of the GOATs many consider in the community, number 2 on that all-time top 25 Halo players list. It would be wild to see him to start the season in the open bracket once again. Remember, Sentinels last year, because of that Royal 2 ruling, started off in open bracket. I believe that's a big reason why it was so difficult for them to find their form all the way. It took them all the way up until Kansas City. You've got to start off right. You've got to start off on the right foot. You can't necessarily win the tournament on day 1, but you can absolutely lose it by losing the series right here.
Oh, and losing the series right here would be devastating for Rebellion, but Spartan's trying to make sure that that is what happens. The perfect shock rifle shot. He is locking down Whirlpool. He sees RyaNoob, just a little bit of that armored elbow peeking around the corner. It's enough. Spartan knows he's here. He's right below. Here comes the congestion, but RyaNoob catches Spartan at the exact right time.
And what an efficient start here for Sentinels. 6 kills on the board, nearly 60 seconds. We'll call it 40. A little bit of a reach there, but still, you get the idea. Massive efficiency, proficiency from Sentinels. But just as I say that, what do you know? Another caster's curse. 3 go down for Sentinels. Spartan, last player alive. And he's just going to have to maintain that glass control to try to earn all of his teammates' spawns here. Does a great job at that. Great job as the last player alive, stopping in that 50-yard line, regrouping with your squad. Let's see how Sentinels pushes out from here.
Sentinels decided how to push out from here, but they're running into mental vending machine style. He takes down 1, he takes down 2, and then RyaNoob finds an unfortunate grenade. Spartan is last alive for the Sentinels. He's gonna play a little bit passive here, waiting for the respawns, and just like that, Rebellion take the lead. I wouldn't round 38 up to 60, but if you hang out with Tony too long, you might pick up on some of his math, and I'm a little concerned about that.
And maybe it's a good thing that Rebellion didn't start off the way they did in games 1 and 2, because it really overemphasized the need to have a strong mid game. Seeing a strong mid round here as Rebellion has found the answer, and now up 20 seconds. Unbelievable when you consider Sentinels really just ran away with that. Now Karmea sending that opponent off the map. Look at the double kill with the shock rifle. Yes, mind the gap shock rifle headshot for Karmea. He's starting to put on a montage.
Yeah, he wasn't even like touched during that whole encounter as well. It made it look so easy on the double kill. Drops the shock rifle for a brief moment, but Rayne with the answer gets the scoop back up, and now Rebellion very much at that 60-point mark. Gonna play a round of slays here before getting back to the objective play. Rayne just misses the headshot, but the body shot is going to be enough for the assist to come through. Sentinels go 2 down. RyaNoob is looking for Kuhlect. It's a 2v1, but RyaNoob says, I got this in 1v1 on my own.
Well, big sticky grenade there as Rayne goes down. LethuL, that'll open up the green light. 3-2-3 now down. Karmea, last player alive, gonna do his best to try to get a play ball out there, but LethuL grabs it immediately. Huge. Just as Karmea looked to prevent Sentinels from getting a quick setup. They look pretty good here, but it's Karmea rotating back over here to glass. If he wins this pin, that's huge! Taking down Kuhlect, single-handedly holding form here for Rebellion.
And then filling in to provide cover for teammate Karmea with the perfect little cat and mouse play there. Karmea is 7-2 right now. Nearly impossible for Sentinels to take down. Rebellion have the oddball. They need 13 more seconds. Karmea does finally go down, but Rebellion still holding on. Rayne gets another huge kill. The push coming through long haul is getting cut short. The reset, no reset, just a change of hands. Sentinels, they were distracting at top glass, meanwhile breaking through, taking down the objective holder.
How did Karmea stay alive? That looked like one of those where you not only play the ball, but you play your life too. Just give up both. And LethuL had the great play. He grabbed it. He didn't even let the ball touch the ground. So everything from a textbook standpoint, on paper standpoint, looked good for Sentinels, but that's why we play the game. This game isn't on paper. It's here in the digital realm on Recharge. Rebellion looking to recharge their hopes at a reverse comeback here with this round 1. Looking great here, but they're going to have to find the finishing touches here. Needing 9 seconds. Karmea seemingly with 9 kills in a row, it feels like, every time we're on his screen. But he goes down once again. 3 going down for Rebellion. That'll send the last player alive off the map. Don't look now. But Sentinels has an opportunity, but great spawns here for Rebellion as they have the high ground off of that spawn.
Spawned at top glass, they spawned at attic, they spawned right where the oddball went after the reset. Sentinels sent all of their force to the back of C, allowing Rebellion to get this very favorable respawn. RyaNoob is going to get his hands on the oddball, toss it up to Mental. A nice little play of catch there, but effective because they only need 3 more seconds. Karmea has the plasma pistol shot charged. They're just milking for time. They don't even need another slay. That's round 1 for Rebellion.
Yeah, if you're one of these coaches for one of these top teams, you got to have the book on RyaNoob. He's done that time after time on recharge. He will throw his life as long as he throws that oddball up to top glass. That leads to the final seconds that Rebellion needed to spur a potential comeback here. Looking really strong here in round 1. RyaNoob baiting that camo, now has it in his suit. And if RyaNoob can make a play here, we could see more of the same here from Rebellion as 3 more go down for Sentinels.
Not something new to see Sentinels down early on in the game, but RyaNoob doubles back to pick up those repulsors. He can send a player off the map, he can send back a grenade, or he can make a quick map rotation, all with the use of that repulsor. He has shots on the LethuL. He catches LethuL mid-reload. Perfect timing from Ryan. And then on the other side, when he needs to reload, he ducks back to cover in order to do so. Just the flow of momentum that Ryan is showing us when to fight, when to get cover is perfect.
A lot like that game 1 start we saw for Rebellion, seeing that same form here as they have a great start in round 2, carrying on from that round 1 we saw. And it was Sentinels with a great start earlier in that round 1, so things are starting to change a little bit. Things are looking a little different than they have in the previous games as Mental earns himself another double kill. 2 going down for Sentinels, potentially 2 more. Yes, Sparty, now it's Kuhlect as the last player alive, and he has no options as he's left to just sit there, take that grenade, and eat it.
Every player on Rebellion had 11 or 12 kills, that grouping of slays. Even Karmea, who has 111 seconds of objective time, still 11 and 4. The protection from teammates, the survivability of this player, and now the shock rifle to continue climbing up that kill column if he can find the target. He spins around, a nice little 360 maneuver, but Sentinels found an answer. They force him out of that tower in a 2 versus 1 push.
Sentinel's gonna have to find much more than an answer. They gotta find RyaNoob. He's milking in the back, 87 seconds. Surprisingly, but not to Rebellion. All part of the strategy, all part of the playbook as that play ball goes down perfectly. But again, it's LethuL with a well-timed grab here. Last time we saw Karmea disrupt here that hold for Sentinels. Will it hold form here as it looks like LethuL tries to get that ball to backseat? Karmea with that plasma pistol barely misses, but he's got cavalry there on the left side. RyaNoob, Mental though, they both go down. Karmea going down as well. Rayne, Sentinels now might be able to come back of their own.
Sentinels looking for a comeback of their own. Rayne is trapped in the bottom of control with no hope, and then even as Mental rotates through, finally an opening pick from Rebellion. It's a 1v1, and Ryan gets his revenge. Onto Spartan, he grabs the oddball. They only need 10 more seconds. Ryan's gonna lock it down. He was milking time at the back of C before he can do it again, and Sentinels are not even making a push. They know that's a GG. Rebellion take it in 2 rounds.
Wow. And who better to know what to expect from Sparty than RyaNoob as he held firm, maintained that ego challenge, and so too did Sparty. It just felt like one of those where neither of those players were going to concede that. And that's sort of like the mental game that we got to discuss here between these two teammates. I think in a normal circumstance, both those players might have dipped away, maintained their shields, maintained their life, but no. Look at this.
Yes.
These players don't care. They're going to continue to fight it to the finish. RyaNoob and Sparty, the former teammates, now lethal foes.
The rivalry between these 2 players in game number 1, Spartan got an insulting back smack on RyaNoob, but we're here in game number 3, and RyaNoob clutches up when he needs to, showing us that icy factor that an experienced player is gonna bring.
And did you also see RyaNoob didn't, I was waiting for this, RyaNoob did not give a body blow with that oddball to Sparty. He did not bag. You know why? He doesn't want to give Sparty any of that extra adrenaline or energy. Again, this is the difference when you have history between two teams, when you have history between two players. Some of the dynamics playing out go well beyond kill-death ratio and slays and power-ups and power weapons, as we're seeing a lot of those intricacies here in this series. Now, heading to a game 4 on Live Fire. I believe oddball, right, Magic? Okay, King of the Hill instead. So Live Fire, King of the Hill is our arena here as we hop back on board with the winner of that last piv, RyaNoob.
The winner of the last piv, maybe the game-winning piv, is now the opening player off the rip trying to make his way to the sniper. But it's Sentinels who get the first round of slays. 3 go down. Full sniper in Kuhlect's hands. And I want to take a quick second. It looks like that parallel series we were kind of talking about, Native Red versus Native White. Native Red does take that in a 3-0 fashion. Congrats to them moving forward to the bracket. Native White hoping they have enough points, but not looking good for their chances.
Nah, I believe with that, top 16 finish in the open qualifier, that should all but end Native White's chances at a full play run. Instead, though, talk about hedging your bets. Native Red looks like they will make that full play run. So,
yep.
For Native, you got some representation in the full play. Congrats to them, as Native Red looking to secure that spot. And so too our Rebellion and Sentinels here. Mental making sure he does just that with the double kill. And it's 3 down. Last player alive is LethuL. Can he maintain his positioning on that hill? No. Does a good job taking down Rayne there, but not enough, because he ultimately goes down. And the early lead here on this hill goes in favor of Rebellion.
Mental picking up the sniper, that Kuhlect drop. Sit down, young gun. This one's for me. Goes to work with that sniper. And now milking his life in the back of B, waiting for that shield to come back as the recontest. And unfortunately, Kuhlect is punished yet again. Rebellion with a good chunk of time on the hill, but Sentinels already have it halfway captured. Sentinels are not ready to give up on this hill right now. They know that if they can break through, they can finish off that hill capture. Nothing counts until you see the number cross the scoreboard. Mental is still alive, rotating back and forth, dealing out damage here and there, setting up plays for his teammates.
And smart job giving it up there from Sentinels. You could see they wanted to challenge the nest, maybe see if they could get a couple players out of that hill for Rebellion. Unable to. And it's a smart decision and discipline there from the experienced veterans in Sentinels as they rotate early to that next hill and have the scoring to match.
The scoring and the overshield. KingNick, so many times on this King of the Hill here on Live Fire, we see the decision to contest for Hill 1 or to pick up that first overshield. So KingNick with that overshield is leading across the board for slays, and now he finds the back of Karmea just lurking in a corner. He's gonna help teammates with a second kill. Sentinels already have this hill halfway captured, looking to tie up the game. KingNick tosses out the plasma. It's gonna fall short of connecting onto Rayne.
You know, you never want to go down 1-0, right? But here in King of the Hill, there are advantages to getting scored on. If you're smart, if you're disciplined, if you make the right call, you can get that early rotation to whichever hill is next. We're seeing a masterclass here from Sentinels is in that. As a hot 1-0 start, looks to be instantly negated here. Sentinels, it looks like they're baiting Rebellion in here. Maybe a little risky here. Looks like Rebellion, they're gonna make them ask the question, do we want to rotate through this next hill? Do we want to start to contest here? But if Sentinels isn't going to step in the hill, it's going to force Rebellion here to have to try to play for the hill, as they do, in fact, get a hold of it here. So maybe some risk reward here at play, maybe some strategical decision making at play here for Sentinels as they finally look to secure that hill.
Very, very patient to finish that capture. They only need to clear the hill one time to get those last 2-3 seconds. Kuhlect has 1 round left, and that sniper wasn't able to utilize it on the first round, but he has a chance to redeem himself. Just misses the head of RyaNoob. Maybe gave him a haircut, but RyaNoob escapes with his life, and hopefully the curls are still intact.
Curls still intact. Heat wave still intact, firing that pop shot. Nobody there, though. As Karmea is going to need some help. He's going to need somebody there to help him, as he's got a roaming LethuL with that overshield Rayne. He's going to have to get real creative if he wants to take down LethuL. But I like that play there, playing for the beatdown, playing for the negation of that overshield. Knew he wasn't going to take down LethuL, but the best he could do there was take down his OS. So a smart hedging of the bets, a smart play there from Sentinels nonetheless.
No surprise that we're deadlocked again, 1-1, and both teams with the same amount of time on the hill. RyaNoob had the heat wave. He gets one. He's taken down. Mental rolling through. 3 players from Rebellion locking down the zone. Look at the team fire. 1 go down, 2 go down, 3 and 4 just around the corner. But somehow Spartan able to take down a couple of kills, even though he was outgunned in numbers on that fight. The Rebellion just had too many people for Sentinels to deal with on that push.
Too many staggered pushes for Sentinels as well. We saw Sparty miraculously get that 1 kill, but he went down eventually after that. And then LethuL having to fight his own 1v1. Look at this. Look, it's continuing. This is cause and effect here. That stagger, that 1 by 1 by 1 continues as Sentinels goes down 1 by 1 by 1. And this one, Rebellion looking to break the tie here, potentially scoring their second hill. It looks like they will, in fact, do just that.
Sometimes it just comes down to being the last alive, because as Rayne was holding that zone, he was also giving his teams the better spawns. All of Rebellion spawning at the back of A, and Sentinels clear across the map. Not enough time for them to force another push, but Rayne melees flying left and right are not going to find any contact. Instead, it's Kuhlect, full health, holding on to the objective, shooting out across the garage. I love this plasma grenade. He's stopping any potential peek through that window and allowing LethuL to sneak up right behind.
Sentinels continuing their form with a good response back to the 2 scores for Rebellion. Each time they've scored, it's been Sentinels with the answer. Sparty with maybe the answer in his hands with that sniper rifle. Now just needs the finishing touches on that hill. Maybe a few touches, a few DPS could take down enough for Rebellion. As yes, numbers are there, but no, 2v2 now. Sparty has to hit this shot. Karmea can absolutely contest the last millisecond that Sentinels needs on this hill.
We saw this with Sentinels on their first hill capture. They didn't necessarily push too quickly. They waited to get some map or some utility control. But as KingNick is dropped, Sparty hits a body shot. Is anyone there to clean it up? It was enough to push Rebellion off of that hill. Sentinels, we need to win 1 round of slays, and this hill is theirs. This game is tied. But they need to find their mark. That assist does come through. The touch comes through on the hill. We're looking at a tied game. Sentinels showing us a little bit of their hand on this pattern with both of their captures.
Yeah, absolutely. Sentinel's strategy here is to create an illusion for Rebellion to make them think that they could potentially secure that hill. But in both instances, it's been all bait. As now we see Sentinels, despite recently scoring, already has a setup with Sparty at Snipe Tower. Huge strategy and decision-making here. Royal One, the coach, doing a great job. Or excuse me, the coach for Sentinels doing a wonderful job to make sure that they stay in this match here, as they're getting a whole bunch of nerdy strategies from RyaNoob and Rebellion.
You gotta respect the nerdy strategies, because it's keeping Rebellion in this series. They fought their way through. Huge lead in game number 1, stolen away by Sentinels, but Rebellion are not going down easily. Mental with the commando. 10 kills, 11 assists. Being a huge factor in this game so far. And now it looks like this could be the crucial overshield. Sentinels have locked down this overshield all game, but Mental doesn't even need to activate it. He has so much time to choose how to use this power-up.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you there, Magic. I really wish Mental, for his sake, would have delayed the pop. You could argue here he'd have a full overshield instead of a quarter. All of those decisions, however minor, come out to be major in the end results. As to Rebellion, now have that 3rd hill. Oh my God, Magic, we are on the brink of a game 5.
So many game 5s throughout this tournament, and we wouldn't have it any other way. In order to get there, Rebellion need 1 more hill or to wait out the clock. Clock not a factor just yet. Plenty of time. But Rebellion are getting that first time on the hill. The push coming through Nest. Mental has both players so weak and so softened up. RyaNoob gets 1. Rayne gets 2 kills of his own. Sentinels cannot complete this push. And now Spartan is left out on his own, alone. And the team fire from Rebellion is going to take him down.
And if you're Sentinels, you can no longer bait these hills. You've got to get the last 2. if you want to prevent a game 5 here, is the mission is going to begin and launch here as 3 go down for Rebellion. Some points on the board for Sentinels, but look at that clock for Rebellion. They really only need maybe 5 seconds. So we're gonna have to see some perfect halo here from Sentinels, and Karmea with that sniper. That's gonna make it even more difficult, but a great flank by Sparty as he takes down the back of Karmea, make it to a double. And Sentinels starting to mount the comeback here on this very hill.
Spartan is looking to fire up the perfectly timed flank to shut down the sniper play. And now with the sniper in hand, he might watch this overshield pickup because it looks like Rebellion are waiting to make their push off of that pickup. Watch out, Mental. Someone's got their eye on you. But Spartan, the only one contesting, the body shot's not going to be enough. Do Rebellion have enough time to contest this hill?
Yes, they do, but they got to go. Mental with that overshield. Plasma pistol misses from the side. Mental looks back at it. Lethal goes down. 2 down for Rebellion, and that's going to lead to a score for Sentinels. Tied 3-3. Magic, plenty of clock. This one's not going to the distance. This one's going to 4.
Rebellion have the heat wave. It's RyaNoob, 19 kills, looking for that 20 bomb, and he's gonna find it with the use of that heat wave, but it's Spartan who takes him down. The double kill from Spartan, matching play for play. He hits the plasma pistol shot. KingNick just needs to find 1 headshot to clean up the rest of that kill. Spartan is paving a path for his respawning teammates to get to this objective.
Sparty looking like an absolute menace there at top snipe. Is, yeah, he didn't get that 3rd kill with the plasma pistol, but he allowed KingNick the opportunity to push up for free and take down a free kill. Despite all that, Sentinels down in numbers, and Karmea with control of the heat wave at Snipe Tower. That's going to be a point of emphasis here. If you're Sparty in the comms coming off of this respawn here, you got to take down Karmea at top snipes.
You know that Spartan is screaming out the comms for his teammates right now. For better or for worse, Rebellion now, with this hill nearly halfway captured. Karmea on the hunt. Callouts coming through for Rebellion as well. He knows there's a player at bottom mid, but after receiving damage, he doesn't continue that contention. Sentinels, oh no, they go 2 down. Kuhlect needs to stay alive. Kuhlect needs to find a kill. A trade is not going to be enough. Rebellion have the advantage on this hill, and Sentinels are forced to reset again.
Sniper up here in 5 seconds, but Rebellion seemingly 5 seconds away from winning this game, and in fact sending us to a cheek clenching game 5. We're gonna head that direction. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, grab the popcorn, because we have an entertaining finish here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in fact heading to a game 5.
This is what everybody showed up today to watch. Happy Valentine's Day. This is the only gift I needed. Although I could buy myself flowers if you guys stick around and watch all the ads today as well. Just gonna throw that one out there. RyaNoob with a 17.3 KDA, keeping his team cool, level-headed, and with the most damage across the board as well.
Since Saturday, Rebellion not giving up a single King of the Hill game as they maintain their streak. And really, this is it's the conversation of streaks. Sentinels 6-0 on Team Slayer, which is the game type, the game mode that we head to in game 5. Do they make it a perfect 7-0? Or is there one loss, the most consequential one they might face all season?
The most consequential loss of this season. And I need you to talk for a second, Mikowski. How important is it for these teams, these new rosters being thrown together, to start off HCS Season 2 on the right foot?
This is it. Like I said, this is very well a Sentinels team that might not make pool plays unless they secure that top 6 finish. So even a win right here, the job's not done yet. And even for Rebellion, you don't secure anything. You get yourself a little closer here with a win here, but you still leave it up to chance. You still leave it up to some of these other teams. If you want to control your fate, if you want to secure your fate, you've got to place top 6 here. This match for top 8, but it feels almost like it is for top 6, or maybe even the win, with how much history, with how much of a rivalry is between these two teams. You have KingNick and Sparty versus their former duo, RyaNoob and Rayne. And then you got to say the 2 top dueling young guns, and Karmea and Kuhlect on each side competing against each other here today. What a matchup.
You know, looking across the stats, everybody is dealing out their share of damage. You have to feel a little bit bad for KingNick, almost getting bullied, taking 67, nearly 6,800 points of damage himself. Rebellion found an answer to stop KingNick in his tracks, leading them to this win. Mental on the opening break with that sniper, so beautiful. And that was a huge factor in why Rebellion had that first hill on the board, forcing Sentinels to play a little bit of that comeback again.
Yeah, and you always have to wonder if Sentinels got a little too cute with their strategy of waiting and getting to that 99% mark on the scoreboard, ultimately running out of time here in this game. And a lot of it there at the end. We saw RyaNoob at top snipes, but it was Karmea at the end dominating top snipes. Didn't have a sniper in his hand, but he didn't need one to control that C hill for his team. Here we see a little bit of that. Ultimately, he did have a sniper at one point, it looks like, so seeing a little bit of that go to work here. But ultimately at the end, I think Spartan takes him down here. So Karmea goes down here and then comes back with a vengeance despite a double kill here and momentum for Sentinels that looked strong enough. But instead, here we go. Sparty eventually goes down. That may have been the game right there, you could argue. That headshot on Mental. You asked the question, Mikowski, do they have enough time? They absolutely did.
I wonder here if Spartan, instead of solo contesting Overshield, and just acknowledges that Rebellion are set up for that OS. Save your sniper round, reposition, rotate over to Nest, and then watch for that Overshield player rounding the corner. If he had been at Nest here, he has a perfect angle to take down Mental.
Yeah, Mental ultimately gets melted, and they do in fact score for Sentinels, but still.
Sparty left scrambling after that hill, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Part of it is who wins the hill, but the other part is who is positioned for this fight. This is where Spartan gets taken down, and on that team wipe, even though Sentinels had the hill, it cost them too much.
Exactly, 100% Magic. Sentinel's strength that last game was their early rotations and making sure that they had that first foot in the hill. Because Sparty went down there at top snipes, they were not able to secure the first portion of that hill as Rebellion take it the rest of the way, led by that young gun at that top snipe tower. And now, oh, it's a classic match. Empyrean Team Slayer, game 5. One of these two teams very well may not make pools. Ladies and gentlemen, I assume you're on the edge of your seats.
I know I am. I have the pen in hand. I'm fidgeting like crazy. This is the potential reverse sweep of the series as Sentinels took games 1 and 2. I think I'm going to remember that game 1. How many points were they down? 160?
150, 160.
Oh, crazy. Might be the biggest Strongholds comeback. We've seen some pretty epic moments, but 160 points down to come back just blows my mind.
Yeah, and then even game 2, Rebellion with the 9-3, 10-3 or so start.
Yes.
Granted, it was early, but still, in both the Slayer and the Strongholds, we saw Rebellion up big. So the question now, if they do get up big on Empyrean, can they maintain it? Can they hold it? And the lack of experience, I don't even say so much the lack of experience on Rebellion, but the wealth of experience on Sentinels gives them the slight edge going into game 5. But like we said earlier, Magic, we don't play this game on paper. We don't play it based off the predictions. We play it on the sticks.
It's all gonna go down on Empyrean. Game number 5. Sound the alarms. Call your mom. Call your grandma. Everybody get in here. The game 5 is going to decide who moves forward in the lower bracket, who potentially secures those pool play slots for Charlotte, and who is going to have to pack their bags, get sent home. We got snipers to work with. We have the rocket launcher. We have the overshield. And this was what we had talked about over the weekend, Mikowski, with Empyrean now being in the rotation. That decision off the opening break, go for rockets or go for overshield. Time and time again, we saw APG on the side of Optic prioritizing the rocket pickup and then trusting those rockets to negate overshield.
Yep.
But do you focus both, or?
Yeah, you can either negate the overshield, or you can grab those rockets and quickly rotate to overshield to potentially use the rockets to take the overshield. I like using the quiz to take the quiz, as they used to say. And that's really what it's all about, is stacking the momentum, making sure that you take full advantage here. And Magic, let's set the stage once again. A loss here for Sentinels. They are not going to be in pool play. Who would have thought? And a loss here for Rebellion. puts the fate in the hands of other teams. If either of these two teams want to control their fate, they're going to have to win this game right here. Game 5, hopping on board with mental.
KingNick had a huge opening kill, but the rocket was just a split second away from firing. Would have definitely given him another kill. The rocket doesn't launch. Failure to launch on that one. Karmea reflecting back the plasma pistol shot, perfectly timed. Send that back. I'm keeping my overshield.
Wow. The reaction time. The split-second decision-making there from Karmea as he ultimately is going to go down. A little overextension, you could maybe argue there, as he goes down to on the other side of Long Haul with a full sniper rifle, which is now in the hands of Sentinels. Down 1 in this game. They need every piece of equipment here to win this game 5.
I would be hard-pressed to pick a team that has the advantage here. Sentinels did win that Slayer game too, 50-43, but Rebellion have that momentum from the last 2 game wins, both of them equally needing to win this game to lock in positions for Charlotte. And we are deadlocked 4-4. I do not want to have to pick a team here.
Almost feels like this one could go to time.
Really?
Look at this. Sparty calling all of his teammates back. Says, come. We're gonna bait a little bit here. Karmea with the bait takes it, but Sparty doesn't pull the trigger. Eventually shoots there, but only lands the body shot. Now connecting on the head of Rayne. The opening break might be on here. And this will really tell me the strategy for Sentinels. Because if they push here, it tells me that they have some form of aggressiveness here, but instead, nah, they're gonna rest on their laurels. They're gonna lay back here. And that's a huge death for KingNick. Now Rebellion with an opportunity. If Sentinel's gonna stay back here, if Sentinels is gonna give you that map control in mid-map, Rebellion might as well push up with it.
KingNick was there just poking the bear at the top of Sword, and now Kuhlect on the opposite side of the map. That plasma grenade is gonna connect. RyaNoob goes down. Kuhlect has the sniper, and he's pushing forward aggressively with it. Does not connect on that shot, but now holding on to control the weapon, control the map position. I'm sorry, I got a little secondhand anxiety as he was down to 1 shot, and here comes the answer push. Use the repulsor to buy a little bit of time, but overshield just seconds away. Kuhlect, you gotta land that headshot!
Huge there when you consider that overshield goes to Rebellion because of that loss there. KingNick though, taking down RyaNoob. That's huge. My goodness, snipers up in 15, but before any of that happens, we might see a team wipe here. 2 going down for Sentinels. Mental with that overshield looking really strong. LethuL has no chance. Sparty firing off rockets from deep. That's not going to connect. And Rayne now with the return to sender takes down his former teammates, and Rebellion has built a 4-kill lead.
Return to sender ×2. We saw with the plasma pistol. We're seeing it again at top. Sword Rebellion off of that overshield have grabbed themselves a 5, no, a 6-point lead. Karmea finds the body shot. He's standing in somebody else's line of sight because you see the blue as he's getting pinged by teammates' damage. He falls back to get the reload. He knows that LethuL's at the bottom of Sniper Tower, but he can't over contest because LethuL has that return sniper. We might see a counter snipe situation, but it's Karmea who kind of off of this game of chicken falls back, repositions, lets LethuL have the tower.
And it's Rebellion who have really looked to be the team that wants to take it to Sentinels. Sentinels has really spent a lot of time on their side of the map, trying to draw in that Rebellion roster. Maybe this is the sequence where it all starts to work out. Rayne taking down Sparty, but LethuL with another headshot with that snipe. Can he make it 2? No, but it's going to be 2 down for Rebellion. 4-kill lead still, though, for them, as they're going to have to take, I think, at least a little bit of that map control back. Maybe it's not fully on the other side for Rebellion, but at least kind of edging there at that long haul, or maybe that mid-bridge. Exciting to see what the strategy is here for Sentinels, as they're going to have to figure it out as they're now down 6.
Karmea finds a double kill, and look, at still half health. Going after the triple. Spartan finds a way to stay alive, but RyaNoob is ready to grab that last round. The sniper cannot hit his mark. It's a 1v2, but watch out. Ryan has that repulsor. We've seen time and time again how much that could be a counter to anything that the Sentinels are sending, but LethuL's VR is not going to miss a shot.
Huge pickup, though, by mental with that heat wave, and that's going to lead to another 3 down for Sentinels. So just as it looked like Sentinels was ready to put some points on the board, Rebellion have busted open a 9-kill lead. And my goodness, Magic, with how snowbally this map is. Sentinels have to figure it out, and they have to figure it out quickly as Karmea with the 360 double kill takes down more.
You really think a 9-point lead in a game 5 gives you the space to style on them, a little bit of finesse there, mental with the overshield, but the team fire from Sentinels finding a good response. Sentinels didn't have rockets, they didn't have overshield, but even off of that spawn trap, they are still in the fight. Down by 7 at the halfway point of this game. Rebellion have been on a roll in the last 2 minutes, but Sentinels found a way to stop the bleeding. All of Rebellion is focusing on this sword side. Sentinels could rotate long haul and find a flank.
7 kill spread here for Sentinels. 6 now, and they have a chance in the form of that sniper rifle spawning soon.
That's the flank.
RyaNoob goes down as well. There it is. I'm looking for Karmea. I'm looking for Sparty here to spur the comeback on the opposite side. It's Mental picking up the snipe, and the sniper on the other side, on Valentine's Day no less, needs some love.
Hoping to get some love from this sniper, but Mental tosses the grenades to try to provide some cover. Oh, I think he connected on that body shot, but he's not going to be able to cash in on that damage. Sentinels ducking back. That pick from KingNick shook things up for a moment, but we're getting back to stabilizing. LethuL with the opening pick in this series. Spartan with the sniper, full ammo at the sniper tower.
Game in the hands of Sparty here, and maybe even the fate of this roster. You have to imagine there might be some consequences for not making full play as such an established team and organization. Sparty landing that body shot. Karmea is gonna have to step back a little bit though. Rayne taking his place instead. Karmea gonna re-shield, reposition. All 4 players here on that sword side. We see for Rebellion, KingNick though in the middle. Can we see another pinch and flank? 20 seconds till that overshield come up. Still a 5-kill lead for Rebellion. Now within 4. Here we go. Sentinels within a team wipe, within 1 possession here of bringing this one back.
Kuhlect is already positioned for the overshield, but it's still 10 seconds away. Mental saw teammate Karmea get taken down by the sniper on the ramp, and now wants to move up. We might see a little snipe off here. Spartan getting aggressive.
Ooh.
Body shots on 1-2 targets, but no assists coming through just yet. But LethuL grabs that overshield. Kuhlect was waiting patiently for it, and it paid off because LethuL came through with the pickup.
Huge there. The lead is still the same. 4. Make it 3 now. There we go. LethuL with that overshield and that opening snipe here from Spartan. You have to imagine the push is on. We haven't seen much aggressiveness from this Sentinels roster, but we're starting to see a little bit of that now as LethuL nearly gets sent off the map. Has that repulsor to worry about, but he's got rockets from Sparty instead. 34-35. Sentinels down only 1.
Spartan is 11-5 in this game. 2 more added to that count because of the use of the rockets, and he is being a menace to this Rebellion team, tossing grenades. Rebellion's in an uncomfortable position. They've been prioritizing the sword side, but now they're back at long haul, and so they need to find a new approach that we haven't seen yet in this game. Kuhlect with a plasma pistol, ready for any Sentinel player that gets a little too brave, a little too aggressive.
Yeah, Magic, and this game has been predicated on the pace that Sentinels has chosen here. We saw a very cautious, conservative game plan at the start. That didn't work out. But props to Sentinels for making the adjustment. Now we're seeing them on that Rebellion side of the map. They're starting to push up through sword a little bit. They're starting to apply a little bit of pressure. It's a big reason why they're now only down 1.
And this is a little bit of that optic gaming strategy that we saw. Controlling of top sword can give you the angles to team fire across the map. And right now it's Sentinels with that power positioning on the map. Still 1 point down. You had mentioned earlier this game might go to time, and with 2:30 on the clock, it might just do so as Spartan finds the game-tying snipe.
Sparty, we said earlier, with the game in his hands and so much more. Sparty, you have to imagine, though, is up to the task. Seemingly game after game, Magic, willing his team back in this fight. And I'm not talking about the kill death. I don't care that he has the most kills or the least deaths. I feel the energy. I feel the passion dripping from Spartan. Can he land a shot?
Now, before the
gonna be the
stats
question.
change, I need to tell you, look at RyaNoob, look at Spartan, 3, 5, and 12, both of them with a 3, 5, and 12, but unfortunately, RyaNoob's 3 is in the wrong column. It's in the kill column right now. The 12 for Sparty on the board, make it 13.
Oh!
3 kills come through for Sentinels. They have a 5-point lead out of nowhere.
And just like that, this map has fully flipped, and it's a big reason
Oh
why
my gosh.
Sparty flipping the map and the game on its head now. Unbelievable. Sentinels up 8. How did they come back this strong? It seemed like just a second ago, they were only down by 1. Sentinels now needing 6. 36 on the board for Rebellion. Sentinels needs this win here in this game 5. If they lose, they go home. They don't make no plays. Sparty with a killing frenzy in game 5. There's the reason why they're up big.
Spartan is 15 and 5, and 10 of those kills have been on a streak that gives them the 10-point lead they have right now. This game is all but done and dusted. 2 more shots. 1 snipe left to work with. Karmea finds the answer, but it's not in time. It's their last chance effort. Karmea has to push, but he needs to stay alive off of this kill, and he's not going to be able to do so. Sentinels just need 1. RyaNoob with a heat wave, looking for a takedown, but you have to get the kills, preserve your life at the same time. They might single out lethal the back of Needles, but there's Spartan. Watch out. Now the pinch comes through. RyaNoob and team a little aggressive. 3 players in the back of the base, but the final kill, it comes through. Rebellion are down. Sentinels clutch up in a game 5.
And I think all 3 of their wins, Magic, were massive, massive comebacks. I believe at one point down 9 or 10 in this Slayer. They were down nearly 10 in that opening Slayer game 2, which they came back and won by a very similar margin here. So Sentinels riding the waves of that experience from so many established, polished players here on this roster.
Right here.
And that was it. My goodness, the play for Overshield here. Not only do you win the team wipe, you win the Overshield. You've got the sniper here. Sparty hits that snipe for the killing frenzy. And I can only imagine the visceral, from the bottom of his gut scream that Sparty let out when he won this game.
Everybody take a second and just imagine what that scream of victory sounded like. Sentinels are a team that you cannot count out of any game, of any series. Spartan popped off. This hot and cold team came out hot in the game 5. Spartan with the 5k damage, only out damaged by Karmea on the side of Rebellion.
Yeah, and we said yesterday, this is a team that they're anywhere between top 4 and top 24. It really feels like feast or famine for this squad, and we saw almost like a mirror result with the results of this match we just had, even just based on the eye test. It looks like Sentinels could be the best team in the world or the worst team based on which day it is. I don't know what they have for breakfast. I don't know what it is that causes so much topsy-turvy gameplay, highs, lows, but there, it's Sentinels finding the high and finding that game 5 win, preventing the reverse sweep from Rebellion. And now Rebellion left to wait and watch this tournament like the rest of you in the chat. And they're going to need some help, Magic. Finishing 7th, 8th in that open qualifier and top 12 here today. They might just be right on the brink. They might actually flip seats here and find themselves in that 9th spot, missing pool play. Wow.